like, just because your labs say you're normal does not mean that there still isn't room for improvement. You could be right at the high end of a lab range, but your doctor's not going to intervene and act until it says high or until it says low. And even then, they'll still probably be like, you know what? We'll just watch and wait.
Yes.
When I see someone's labs and I'm like, ooh, no, we're creeping up to that point, we start acting now.
Welcome to the show, Dr. D.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
right?
Yes.
Thank you for coming. It's freezing in Philadelphia today, guys. So, yeah, I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, I've been trying to get you in. We were trying to make this happen. It has been a while.
Everything in its timing.
Divine timing.
Yeah. So that's just what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
So who is Dr. D?
That's such a great question. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this answer
Get your microphone. Yeah.
succinct.
Yeah.
Who is Dr. D? So Khadijah Douglas, I'm a first-generation Canadian born to Caribbean immigrants who, after having a debilitating panic attack and experiencing Western medicine and antidepressants and birth control, ended up opting for a different route. And that route then led me to naturopathic medicine and realizing that there are other forms of medicines and healing and supporting your body. And then that just led me to starting Infinite Wellness and then becoming really passionate about women's health because women go to the doctors more often not than men. But over the years of my training and education, women get put into these buckets, right? So if you're a mom, then you're mom tired. So what are you going to do? Just deal with it until the kids are 18 and out of the house. If you are a caretaker or provider for like an elderly or a parent or something, then you're just a provider and like just sleep more. If you're looking to lose weight, then the doctor's going to say just eat more, eat less, move more. So you get put into these little buckets, or if you're sad, get on this antidepressant. And again, nothing wrong with medication. But I found that it's very it's not individualized. It doesn't really support and treat the root cause. And we end up either learning to doubt ourselves because then we think, oh, I'm crazy, nothing's really wrong with me. Or then we just completely give up on ourselves and just say, well, kind of screw it. It's going to be what it's going to be. And I'll have to suffer in silence because I've been to this doctor. No one is listening to me. So really just trying to be more of a voice and advocate, especially on behalf of women's health. And I actually had this thought when I was driving and I was like, the minute a man no longer can get an erection, he's getting testosterone. We're doing full workups, right? The minute his sexual, he is getting the full everything. He's getting testosterone pellets. He's getting testosterone. But the minute a female starts to feel like her cycles are heavy or she's having issues. Antidepressant or birth control. But we're not going to test hormones. But heaven forbid a man has an issue. We are testing testosterone. We are doing a deep dive. We are sending him to the urologist. We're doing all this work. And I think to myself, that's a little bit unfair.
Why do you think that is? Maybe a second podcast episode.
There could be so many things. I think that we've oversimplified women's health. And I think because there is birth control, we just say, oh, if it's a hormonal issue, birth control will fix it. And so because we've oversimplified it, we've kind of just gotten lazy in regards to women's health, where we don't want to continue to research. We don't want to continue to put in the time and look at how things have changed, right? Like we are exposed to so many more toxins and chemicals.
Absolutely.
And so we don't want to take the time to be like, well, maybe because of our poor food quality or because of this person's not having good access to water, that these things and these levels are off. If it's a hormone, just put her on birth control. It's not going to hurt. She doesn't need a period. Who cares? But we also know that like having a menstrual cycle is a really good indicator of health. So I think there's a lot of things. I think it's laziness. I think it could be money. I think it could just be insurance doesn't want to pay for it.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
And I think that, I just love the way you approach health, just the same way I approach skin, right?
Yes.
So for me, it's all about my intention. And I was reading on, I was doing some research on you, Dr. D, but I also know you and I follow your content. We have the same mission, is to empower and educate our clients, your patients, right? To really look at what is going on with me. Like the skin is just telling you a story of your internal health.
Correct.
Simple as that.
Yes.
Right? So for women of color, which is the majority of my clients, they're coming in with just pointing what is wrong with them.
Yeah.
And so then I create a space where, hey, the skin is more than just the hyperpigmentation or acne. The skin is reflecting what's going on the inside. So let's talk about your lifestyle, what you're doing, not doing. Okay, let's get to your daily routine, skincare routine, right? Because the products are there to help you to support your own natural skin, your natural healing properties or support, right? But how you sleep, your water intake, the supplementations that you're taking, your food that you're intaking as well, right? And underlying medical conditions affect that. So and that's why I love you, because we have the same approach. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have a conversation with her in a setting where it's shareable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So these are the type of conversations that we do have when we have the opportunity to meet each other in different conferences. And,
and that we also have with our clients and patients.
Yeah.
Which is also really important too.
Yeah.
It's not just put this, powder or liquid on, put this one treatment on. I love that you go deeper than that.
Yeah.
Water, stress. Are you taking care of yourself? What does that look like? Yeah. Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
I just found out that I was breathing incorrectly, like last year. When I took a breath work, workshop, and I was like, oh my, you know why? Embarrassed about my belly.
So you were like,
since I was a teenager. Tuck it in.
Could you imagine how many other women are probably in the same? Yeah.
And I'm telling my clients for many years, I want you to breathe from your belly up to your chest. And then when I was in this workshop, and I was like, wait a minute, why am I me? I tell my clients to do it, and I was doing, girl. So, but that was a wake up call for me. So, how old were you when you decide to go to medical school?
Yeah, I was a late bloomer. So I'm a little stubborn. I will admit that.
What is your sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, Pisces. My mom is a Pisces.
Yeah, I'm a little stubborn, so it takes a little bit of nudging. I also struggle with insecurity and second guessing myself, which thank goodness for therapy, that's come a long way. But I went back to graduate school when I was turning 27. So I was working corporate, had my bad panic attack, discovered naturopathic medicine, but I was on the fence as if I really wanted to do it or not. I was like, but should I? Because not many people know about it. Can I make a career out of this? There's not a lot of women that look like me in the space.
What was interesting about naturopathic approach?
That I got better. Being on an antidepressant for me, I just lived life. I went through the motions. I was numb. And that to me wasn't exciting, because I had a younger niece who I play a very big role in her life, and not to be able to experience joy when she got a good mark on an assignment. And so I was like, this is I can't be doing this at 23, being numb. This is not it. So being able to actually experience life was great. And then also realizing that your menstrual cycles don't have to be painful. When I had my first pain-free menstrual cycle, I was like, what is it? I was like, no, this is a fluke. And then it just kept happening. And I was like, wait a minute. So I was missing school all these times in high school, because in my family, it was you get your period, you miss the first day, you take Midol, hot water bottle. It's that's normal.
Yeah.
Welcome to womanhood.
Yeah. My mother was like, I don't care if you have cramps, you need to wash those dishes.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Welcome to womanhood. We don't. Yeah. So when I realized that, oh my goodness, this is working and it's sustainable, that was really what drew me in. But I had to figure out my life. Do I really want to do this? And like I said, I didn't see many people like me in the space.
Yeah.
And so then you start to get imposter syndrome, and you're like, well, if there's no one else that looks like me in this space, then am I really meant to do this? Should I just become a nutritionist and then maybe do it that way? But I just ended up finally doing it like just diving right in, applying to 2 schools. I applied to a school in Toronto where I'm from, and then I applied to school in Arizona. And when I got accepted into Arizona, I was like, sunshine, weather, sign me up. I'm there, because I do not like the cold.
I'm so glad that you chose this path, because I feel like it's so natural to you when I listen to your talks and podcasts. It's within you, and I think that the role of a healer is to heal.
Yes,
because then it's easier for you to really convince a patient, a client to embrace that concept that for them it's unfamiliar. Now, thanks to social media, we have access to different modalities. They're not alternatives anymore. They become the main approach.
And I love
now.
that. I love that.
Because for me, I've been a massage therapist since 24 years, and I have been an esthetician for 23, 22, right? So the whole holistic approach, I always had that.
Yeah.
Coming from Brazil, you grew up on herbs and juices.
And there's another thing, like growing up in a Caribbean household, when I was going through school and learning herbal medicine, I was like, wait a minute, my mom wasn't crazy? Oh, Mama Dee, she knew something. She put me onto it, right? Because now everyone takes sea moss.
Yes.
That is like... that was like a regular thing in my household growing up. I hated it, but now everyone is on the sea moss bandwagon. So you're right. Yeah, definitely a part of me that I finally tapped into, and I just lean into it wholeheartedly.
And that's why when you said Caribbean descent, I was like, yeah, why not? Naturopathic is, you were born for that.
Yes,
you were born for that.
In heaven.
So So anyway, let's talk about the sexy topic, menopause.
Yes.
Explain to us the difference between when a woman should be looking into, okay, am I going through menopause or perimenopause? Right? Because the postmenopause, we know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But tell us, like, when, if there is a difference from a Caucasian woman versus a Black woman, the first symptoms of perimenopause, and how can she start managing, if there is a way to manage the severity of perimenopause into menopause.
Yeah, juicy topic.
Yes, let's do it. Sexy.
Yeah, it is sexy. I like to call it second puberty. Because you're like rediscovering your body again, right? We all remember how awkward that puberty was, and you're like, what are these breast buds, and like, why is my booty getting like, you're like, so it's like you're relearning your body again for the second time. So second puberty, aka perimenopause, can happen as early as 35. It can last up to 15 years. It's going to look different from everyone, which is why I always like to ask my women, what did mom's menopausal transition look like? Because we can usually garner information from what your mom or, maternal relatives looked like. That's always going to be helpful. Some of the first things that people will draw attention to that are external, they're going to say the belly, right? They're going to
experience that.
They're going to be like, and then all of a sudden there's this. Yeah. There's like, I used to be able to just watch my calories and I could lose weight. And now there's this. So that's usually like one of the bigger things. Other things that people might experience, vaginal dryness, because estrogen is declining. You also might notice, again, skin dryness and wrinkles appearing more because of the estrogen fluctuations. Changes to your sleep habits. And that one is often tricky because, again, when a woman goes to the doctor and she's like, I for some reason, I can't sleep anymore. And they're gonna be like, oh, you're a mom? Well, that's what it is. So it often gets missed. So sleep disturbances become a lot more common. The other thing too is depression and anxiety. If you are someone who has always been upbeat and have never had any kind of anxiety and depression in your life, and then all of a sudden you're like, what is happening with my mood? Why do I feel off? What is this experience that I'm feeling? Again, could be a sign that you are possibly approaching that space and that kind of premise. In regards to racial differences, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I don't think we focus enough on that in the medical community. There are differences between women of color, Black women and Caucasian women. Unfortunately, we don't know as much data on Black women, so we often miss a lot of things. And when I'm working with my patients that are Black women, women of color, when I am hearing all of these things going on, I'm just thinking to myself, like when they're like, I just do everything. I'm the caretaker. I'm the provider. I'm the superwoman. I wear the cape. I'm like, and you're probably approaching perimenopause. Women, Black women, women of color, often we kind of are just, there's this belief, this myth that we can take more, we can tolerate more, we have higher stress levels, so we can deal with more. And that's actually not the truth. So oftentimes it's just kind of like, just rest. Versus like, well, let's see what your levels are looking like. How is your thyroid? How is your cortisol? How's your vitamin D? How's B12? Versus, other races. So that's what I would say. The minute you start to feel like something is off and something is just not right in your body, trust it. Don't push it to the side. Get the support that you need sooner rather than later. And it's okay to start getting levels tested at 35, at 36, and then doing it yearly to see what your trends are.
I love that you said that. Yeah.
That way you can see, like, when you're feeling really great, your levels were this. And now your levels are 10 times higher. So now we need to bring it back down, and we know how to intervene. So I'm a huge advocate for yearly testing. And then you just, again, keeping a record of where your numbers are, I would say.
What about that woman that is the typical Black woman that you're saying right now, describing kids, career, right? Because it's interesting that, this menopause experience happens exactly when a woman is kind of find herself after son goes to college, get married, business, all of that. And this is the time for her to just kind of express herself as, a wholesome woman. She's also dealing with, what happened? Wait a minute. I gained 10 pounds. I'm feeling like crap. I don't know who I am. I am picking myself and pulling myself apart because I'm depressed, right? So when and how a woman that is that busy is also experienced or not experienced perimenopause, how can you find if there is any connection with that to determine if this is perimenopause or really like depletion of nutrients or rest or water or whatever it is?
Yeah, so one of the lovely labs that I like to run to assess to see how close a female is approaching to that place, it's called follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. And so follicle stimulating hormone is the hormone that every single month its job is to get your ovaries, your follicle, to release a follicle that's going to become an egg that might become fertilized if you were to, okay? So what happens is as we approach that kind of menopause state, your ovaries are like, listen, I've been doing this all my life. I'm getting tired. I'm ready to retire. So your ovaries become a little bit hard-headed. So that FSH, they keep releasing it. It keeps releasing it. It's trying to stimulate this follicle to be ruptured and to be released into the body. If your body's not sensing it, those FSH levels go higher, higher, higher. Higher means that your ovaries just are kind of tired. We're getting ready to retire, aka menopause is around the corner. So FSH can be one of those really great markers to look at. And then also, I'm a huge fan of looking at estrogen and progesterone as well. Progesterone, we actually start to lose that as early as 28, so late 30s, late 20s. That declines sooner than estrogen. Estrogen, we start to see a decline like mid-30s, later 30s, etc. But progesterone is huge for women because progesterone can actually bind to GABA in your brain. It helps to promote a sense of like peace and calm. So I tell any female, like, if you had any challenges with fertility or getting pregnant, you should be taking a look at your progesterone levels from the beginning and tracking that. The other great thing, or the interesting fact about progesterone is the precursor to cortisol. And so we talk about this woman who's finding herself and flourishing, and sun is gone and working and trying to keep up. So your body's here producing this cortisol to support you, but at the same time, we're tanking and depleting progesterone at the same pace. So even just those 4 labs running and testing on an annual basis, which again, I think should be part of a woman's annual physical exam. that can help provide insight. And then you know what needs to be supported. Then you know, okay, you know what? Cortisol is off the chart. I need you to do a lot more self-care, a lot more rest, a lot more prioritizing you. Maybe taking magnesium, maybe cherry juice. Like, there's things that we can start doing sooner rather than later.
Before we start the show, we're talking about self-care.
Yes.
Right? And I really want us to bring it back to our girls, our bonitas. How, for you as a naturopathic doctor, how, describe to us in your own terms, what means self-care to you?
Yeah. Filling your cup back up. Any activity that fills your cup back up. And it should be done every single day. Every single day. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. And if you cannot find 30 for self-care, I think that is where you start. So when I am always working with the patient, I'm like, okay, so what do you like to do for fun? And it's always surprises me how so many people don't have like hobbies or interests. I find it sad, because that's just a sign that you've lost yourself. And that's another sign that your health is suffering. But self-care could look like sitting down and eating a meal. Like, how many of us are eating on the go? How many of us are eating distracted? How many of us are eating off of our kids' plates? Right? Or, okay, everyone's done eating. I'll just eat whatever's left and remaining. That's a huge form of self-care. That's filling your cup back up. So for me, self-care is, what activity can you do on a consistent daily basis that fills your cup back up? Because we as women, and I know a lot of Black women, and for all the Black women that I know, we give. And when you're in this profession, you give. And we give some more. And just when we think we have nothing left to give, we're pulling out another giving card from somewhere, right? So what are you doing to pour back into you at the end of the day? That's, for me, what I think of as self-care.
So how do you fill your cup?
Oh, yeah. For me, I do a couple of things. I like to drive in silence at the end of a long day.
Me too.
And just be with myself. Yes. Again, when you're in a service industry and profession, you're a lot of energy is being given. So just sometimes sitting in silence and being still, for me, is huge, especially as an introvert too. So that's one of the ways that I pour back into myself. Since coming to you, I've developed a self-care routine, like a nighttime skincare routine.
Yeah.
So when I come home, I look forward to that now. I'm like, I'm going to get in the shower. We're going to do all the things. Like, that to me has become something. Self-care is, for me, also journaling.
Yes.
Keeping up with my therapy.
Yes. Which
therapy is such a taboo topic in our community, right? Because depression, we're not doing that. We're not taking medication.
For white people.
That's for white people.
What?
Right? So those are just some of the examples. And setting boundaries.
Yeah.
For me, has been huge within the past year and a half.
Me too.
The boundaries has been huge for my self-care. And being okay with it. And I think I made a comment at the beginning of the year on social media saying that my word of the year is selfish. Because I think we look at the word selfish as like this negative thing. But no, selfish means that I'm able to fill my cup up so that I can serve everybody else in my life just more. So those are some of the examples, what I think of self-care and what it looks like for me in my life.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I would just this is just a offer. Right?
I love. Please.
It's not being selfish, self-devotion.
Ooh, yeah.
Because if you really look in spiritual practices, right?
Yeah.
You go to a temple, church, and you spend time there, and you stay in that moment, right? So for us, which I always tell my clients, like, the evening routine is the most important routine, because after the whole day, you're out there fighting the dragons, right?
Ain't that right?
Email, dropping the kids off, talking to your husband, or reading some on social about Trump or something like that, right? And then you're like, wait a minute. So the body is in high stress levels, right? So the skincare products are made during the day is for protection, right? At night is all about nourishment, recharging, replenishing. And not only that, that's the day you should be washing that day off your body and your face. And taking the time to look yourself in the mirror is a way of self-devotion, to really look at yourself and be like, all right, girl, today was a shady day. or all right, girl, you killed it, right?
Yeah.
As you removing your makeup, as you addressing your skin, and then you go in the shower, take your aromatic shower. I love to do it. That is simpler forms of self-care. It's much more than just Sunday self-care.
Yeah.
And sheet masks.
Yeah.
Or even like I love the way you said it, like something simple as having a meal.
Yeah.
Without being on the phone. And I'm guilty of it.
Listen, I have my moments, but I'll catch myself.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I think it's all about the awareness.
Therapy has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And, I am in this space, wellness, beauty, all of that, right? But it's easier to tell others than really.
Of course. To hold yourself accountable. Of course.
But, again, slowly I am implementing, because my therapist said one thing, like, okay, don't be a hypocrite.
I know. Yeah.
We're having this conversation because we have a good relationship. Watch, because we need to also integrate what you're teaching others to do.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh shoot.
I know, right? Self-devotion, I love it.
Self-devotion.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It takes that negative connotation from
Absolutely.
you being selfish.
Yeah. Yes.
Self-devotion. I deserve this, because if I don't
deserve this.
If I don't do it for myself, nobody's going to create a space for me unless I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
Right?
True. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about this all day.
I know, right?
So what is the difference? What is the difference between your approach as a naturopathic doctor compared to a conventional doctor?
Well, first, I'm actually going to run your hormones. That's step one. I'm actually going to run your hormones without you having to go through fertility treatment. I think the only time I see someone get like full hormones is if they're going through fertility. So step one is we're actually going to run full hormone panels on you. And that is looking at full thyroid, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol. Those are the big three when it comes to women's health. The second step is I also, when I'm reviewing your values, then I take into consideration what's your age, what's your race and ethnicity, because again, there's differences. What's your day-to-day kind of levels look like? What's your family history? What are your health goals? And do your levels align with that? So I'm doing a deep dive. I don't just look at your labs and be like, oh, everything is normal because nothing was flagged on the labs. We also know that a lot of lab values are based off of Caucasian men. So that's not really beneficial for women because when science and medicine was first starting, women weren't allowed to be in studies and research, especially if women were pregnant. So like we always would say no. And they didn't do the best job of getting Black women to consent during medical procedures. Yeah. So that data might be a little bit skewed. So some of the values that we have are actually based off of men, which is not really going to be helpful. And then again, I always tell my patients when I'm working with them, I'm like, just because your labs say you're normal does not mean that there still isn't room for improvement. You could be right at the high end of a lab range, but your doctor's not going to intervene and act until it says high or until it says low. And even then, they'll still probably be like, you know what? We'll just watch and wait. Yes. When I see someone's labs and I'm like, ooh, no, we're creeping up to that point, we start acting now. I like to be proactive. Yeah, preventative, proactive versus reactive. And again, when your regular docs, your MDs are looking at your labs, they're just making sure that you don't have a disease, that you're not dying. They just want to make sure that cancer isn't present or diabetes. I want to make sure that you have longevity and wellness behind you, because when your blood sugar is already elevated, now we have to be so much strict, so much more rigid. And that's not fair to the person when you could have had that conversation 4 months ago, like, hey, you're trending up. I want you to start dialing in on the diet. I want you to start going for a walk after your meals. Start doing those little things now versus now you got to inject yourself. Now you got to wear a glucose monitor. Now you got to do all these things. We could have had this conversation a year ago, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same way with, I worked with a couple of dermatologists in the same practice. And what I learned was I was reminded that there is a difference. There is a difference between dermatologists and anesthetician. And I kind of knew that, but I witnessed
the difference firsthand. So it's like, oh, we have acne. Here are the prescription. Doxycycline.
Tazarac and
spironolactone. Yeah.
Right. So, but then I would have conversation with the patient, because then we will, kind of trying to get them on a program with microdermabrasion chemical peels to accelerate the results. Right. Then I will have a conversation with the patient. They just didn't know how to take care of their skin. Yeah. And because I've always been like this, because of my mother, she's, on a low as a healer. Questions like, tell me about your diet. So I've been curious about health since I was 15 because of my mom.
Yeah.
So anyway, for the most part, it was just related to diet, right? Diet and lifestyle.
And the education.
And education.
Yeah. Because if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know, you don't know. And if you, when they leave the office, there's no conversation how to take care of your skin. None. Here's the Dove soap, here's some CeraVe, and some Neutrogena sunscreen. Yeah. Really? So anyway, so the conventional medicine, now I can also see that they are stepping up, because they are losing the shine. Because now you have technology advancements. Yeah. And also we are going back to holistic approach.
I am meeting more and more MDs that are getting out of the insurance model. And I've been getting a lot more referrals from MDs because they're limited. So there's this one doc in Elkins Park that I know, and she'll refer people to me because she's like, I'm in insurance. I know that you're going to take care of this person. Right? And I always tell people, it's not your doctor's fault that you can't get the labs run. It's your insurance company. They are the ones that sit there and say, you know what, why are you running these labs? Because they have a flow chart, right? You go into the doctor's office, you say, this is what's wrong with me. The doctor puts a code, and then those are the labs that get approved based on insurance. So insurance is the one that dictates, and you have to go through that process. We choose just not to work with insurance because I don't want someone who has never seen a cadaver, right? I had to spend 1.5 years working in a cadaver lab. You're going to dictate and tell me what labs I can and cannot run, and how to, I'm not going to use your algorithms, because we as humans don't always fit into these algorithms and these boxes. So we need more. And I think we're, again, like you said, more holistic. People are seeing the switch, and they're like, they want more than just take this prescription. I'll see you in 8 months. Bye.
Not only the prescriptions are addressing whatever is out of harmony, is also throwing your everything else off.
Yeah. You take one prescription, then you have to take another one for the side effects of this one and this one, and then it just becomes a thing. And I think we've also normalized it, right? So people are like, how many prescriptions are you on? And it's like, what? This is not a competition here, right? I had a patient that she's 72 and she takes nothing. And her friends think there's something wrong with her because they're all sitting there sorting their pills. She's like, no, I'm good. I'm not on anything. And so we look at her like she's weird and she has all the heads, but she's not taking anything. We have normalized being on prescriptions in this country. We've normalized being on something by at least the age of 35.
Yeah.
Listen, if you have to be on medication, be on medication, but I don't think that should be the standard. That should not be normalized. What other country are we seeing this happen in?
U.S. Right? The country that I love. But yeah. Right. But it's all misinformation. Like my sister lives in Italy, right? So the second time she came to visit me, she was watching the commercials, and she was like, "Oh, Viv, do you guys promote like medication on TV?" And I was like, "Yeah." But for me, it was just, I never really paid attention until she brought it up. And she's like, oh my gosh, so it's, she said, essentially, you go to the doctor and tell which medication you need because you see yourself on the commercial. And I was like, girl.
Yeah. In Canada, you're not allowed to do that. It's against the law. But again, here, we've normalized that.
Yeah.
How many times do you see a commercial for a medication? And then they I love at the end how they speed through it. Side effects may include death. And you're like, did they just say death? I guess I'll stick with my constipation because death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are already on that topic. What do you think about hormonal replacement therapy?
I think it's great. I think if we had more docs trained in it, we would have women transitioning through perimenopause, into menopause, postmenopause, with a lot more, not even just grace, but just sanity. feeling like they're not going crazy, feeling like their body isn't failing them, feeling like something isn't wrong with them. I think that HRT comes in various forms, pellets, trokes, injections. I think there should be just training done for all docs where you speak with your patient and be like, hey, do you want to talk about this? Do you want to look into this? If not, it's always here's an option, right? Not pushing it, but just be like, hey, if you start to maybe notice worsening or X, Y, and Z, let's talk about getting you on something to support you through these years. Again, we have to look at the society so much different than 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Women are still working through perimenopause. So they're still having to go to work, show up, be on while they're having a hot flash, while their skin is doing something crazy, while they're not feeling comfortable in their body, while they're not sleeping. That's not fair at all. So I'm an advocate for it. I really am. I think it can be really beneficial, and I think it can really help make that 10, 15 year, 5-year span of where you're going through symptoms more bearable. Who wants to be miserable, right? We have enough craziness going on in this world.
That is true.
So, yeah.
So it's good to know that you so you have do you do that type of work?
So Pennsylvania is a really weird state for my license. So it's part of my training. So I'm licensed in New Hampshire and Pennsylvania. So in New Hampshire, I can prescribe it. I do it. It's part of my training from in Arizona. Pennsylvania is very weird in that they will not allow me to do it. So I will refer to amazing providers that I know do HRT, and they do it really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. It's all a team. It's all a team.
Yeah, it's all a team.
Yeah.
As I was talking to my gyno, like, hey, I need a primary because I'm about to file this one. Yeah, and she's like, she gave me 2 names, so I'm doing that. So then we talked about hormonal replacement therapy. Let's talk about gut health.
Yeah, please. Please.
Which is another broad, topic.
Yeah.
So when do you pinpoint like, oh, this is some gut issues?
Pretty much everyone who walks into my door.
Yeah.
And people often think that just because they're not running to the bathroom all the time, that they have no GI issues. But again, your gut is the command center, right? So I always break it down to people and I say, okay, you eat a meal and that's going to give you nutrients. If those nutrients are not absorbed, assimilated, broken down, you're not going to make your proteins. If you can't make proteins, you're not going to make insulin or cortisol. You're not going to be able to produce and process your hormones. Your immune system's going to be tanked. So most people, again, we get into gut health, and I will ask questions, again, people think that going to the bathroom once a week is fine. Yeah. I love to be like, how many times do you go, I'm normal. What's normal for you? Once a week. And I'm like, no, sweetie, that's not normal. That's not normal. If you have bloating, right? I always differentiate between bloating that lasts for an hour after eating versus bloating that is the entire day. If you're waking up bloated, there's nothing in your stomach at that point. What's that's a red flag. If you are chronically sick, I think gut health. Yeah. People, again, they're like, I get sick every time my kid brings home something. What? No, you should be able to ward off an infection. Your immunity. Right. So gut health always comes up, whether or not people put it down on their actual intake form. We do go into it. And when people are like, oh, well, I take Tums every day. Oh, you take Tums every day? Well, so you have acid issues? No, I take Tums. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, let's examine this a little bit further. So again, we've normalized taking Tums every day. We've normalized taking Pepcid every single day. Yeah. But should we really be needing to take it every single day? So gut health always comes up in some way. And especially when someone has a skin rash, like eczema, psoriasis, acne. Huge.
So how do you approach let's just laser focus on gut health. What is the main thing that you suggest to someone? Could be food related, could be a herbal blend, could be just something like 3 things that someone that is going through some gut issues can do it. Okay.
Oh my goodness, water. And I'm pretty sure you would say this, we do not drink enough. People think that they are hydrated. I thought I was hydrated when I first came here, and I was not hydrated, right? Water, right? At least half your body weight in ounces. Most of us aren't doing that. And if you drink coffee, you should be increasing that because coffee is dehydrating. So water is huge. Water is a huge game changer. The second thing I would recommend is fiber. We don't get enough of that in our diet because we eat a lot of processed food, or we're always, you know, at a drive-through. And again, I'm not throwing judgment, but if your diet consists of DoorDash and Uber Eats, majority of the time, you're probably not getting enough fiber. Most Americans, I think, get around 5 to 10 grams. We should be getting 30 to 40 grams.
Okay.
Fiber's huge. Healthy bowel movements, hormones. It feeds your microbiome. People want to take a prebiotic. You can eat fiber. Fiber is a prebiotic. So forget buying another pill. Forget buying something that's going to be $100. Just eat some fiber. So fiber, water, and then I'm a huge fan of like a mini elimination diet. I love Whole30. You're familiar with it? So Whole30, it's 30 days where you remove gluten, grains, dairy, and legumes from your diet simply because they are the ones that have been shown to be most problematic for gut health, like leaky gut, constipation, weight. And so the whole premise is for 30 days, you remove those foods out of your diet. After the 30 days, you slowly reintroduce and see how your body responds. And most people will notice 1 or 2 foods or food groups that are really problematic for them. But again, because we eat these foods all the time, we probably are like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. But the minute you take these things out,
then you
start to realize. So I'm a big fan of mini elimination Whole30, just 30 days. You can do it. Water and fiber. That can be huge. Yeah.
Give me a fiber-rich
food.
Yeah.
Broccoli, potatoes.
See, I get gassy when I eat broccoli.
Apples, pears, great source of fiber.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many apples can I eat a day?
An apple a day keeps the doctor.
A little, you know,
an apple
session
a
with
day.
the doc right now.
Pumpkin seeds.
Oh, I
chia
just
seeds.
got into it.
A tablespoon.
Chia seeds, I get bloated.
Do you?
Yeah.
What about flax seeds?
As well.
Bloated?
I think it expands.
Too much. Maybe too much. Maybe you have to like slowly, gradually introduce.
I'm gonna reintroduce them.
Yeah, so
after
slowly.
This session with the doc.
Oatmeal, brown rice.
Okay, yeah, I'll do them.
Right?
Yep. Okay.
Kale.
I do that.
Spinach.
Okay. Fiber?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Blueberries. They might not have as much as other things, but again, getting those into your diet. And you notice that I said all real whole foods. I didn't say chocolate. I didn't say Chick-fil-A.
Don't talk bad about chocolate.
Listen, I love chocolate, but we can't live off chocolate.
Milk chocolate. Dark chocolate is good for you because of the
antioxidant in the fat. Yes. So I'm a huge fan of that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I love cocoa.
Don't burst my bubble.
I would never burst your bubble, but again, you know, we need to have a little bit. But water, fiber, mini elimination, and that could be a game changer. So many of us are dehydrated. And then one bonus one, in terms of herbs, I do love using bitters to help with digestion. Because again, we're a busy society, always on the go. You're probably not digesting your food properly, so it just kind of sits there. Yeah, you need some help. So that would be what I would say for gut health.
I love it. I have some bitters I haven't taken months, but thank you for reminding me. So, which services do you offer in your clinic?
Oh, so good. So we this has taken some finessing and refining over the years of being a business owner. So when you come to our practice, we have 3 options for you to start as a new patient. You can do a package with no labs, with labs, or you can do all the labs in the world and all your supplements. So we have A, B, and C. And then after you have done your new patient journey, whichever one you choose, our goal is to get you to maintenance, and then we put you to maintenance. So usually you might need anywhere from 3 to 7 more follow-up visits over the course of the next 4 to 8 months. Once you get you to maintenance, I just check in with you once a year. So we do hormones, we do fertility, we do PCOS, PMS, PMDD, menopause. We do a lot of gut health conditions. Lately, I've been seeing an influx of even men in my practice.
Nice.
Which, thank you. Yeah, it's great. I'm so grateful for that because, again, men only go to the doctors when their penis stops working. Meanwhile, their heart is clogged and they're on the verge of a heart attack. Yeah, high stress. Yeah. So we've been seeing a lot more men. And then what else? Lots of thyroid conditions. Tons. 1 in 8 women have a thyroid condition. That's undiagnosed. So that's, pretty much hormonal wise. That's what I would say where we kind of, in terms of services and how we can serve you, autoimmune conditions, lupus, right? Very common in
Yeah,
Black women. I have a
very.
lot of lupus patients. I have one patient, she's like, I always have to mention her, like she is so well managed. She's not on any medication. Her rheumatologist and her endocrinologist are always impressed when she goes and gets her blood work done because she has not had a flare in going on now, I think, is it 18 years or 19 years? And she manages her lupus.
You supported her?
Oh, yeah.
And can you tell us how?
Yeah,
Briefly?
so, yeah, for sure. So the first thing was we did like in-depth lab testing with her. Like we took a look at her full thyroid levels. We took a look at iron and ferritin and vitamin D and B12 and her inflammation markers. We did in-depth testing on her liver markers to see how her liver was doing and her kidney, because we know that lupus can attack the kidneys. So to make sure that she was still good. And then we had her do like extensive diet diaries to see if what she was eating was enough to support levels, but also kidney supportive as well. Because again, lupus will attack the kidneys. And once they start attacking the kidneys, it goes quick. And you can go from stage 1 kidney failure to like stage 3, stage 4, and almost on dialysis. So really focusing on her kidneys, really focusing on the other areas that were weakened and supporting her that way.
What about the adrenal gland?
Absolutely. Yeah. Her cortisol levels. Yeah, for sure. So whenever she's stressed, she would, either call out of work, take some time off, but she had to learn that lesson kind of like the hard way when she had a really bad flare. She's like, I'm never letting a job or a person stress me this much. So we do check on her cortisol levels. For her, we do saliva cortisol testing. You can test cortisol through urine, blood, saliva, but we do it with her through saliva just to get a beautiful graph to see where her numbers are and see how she's doing throughout the day. Yeah. Yeah.
Girl,
So, yeah.
I'm about to make an appointment with you. Listen. So let's get personal.
Okay, please.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Okay, because we got to go.
Okay.
But I'm curious about this because you're an entrepreneur like myself. Also, just based on our initial conversation, you're going through also self-analysis, a self-inquiry, as I recently learned that word. What is the belief that you hold that most people disagree with you on?
That's a good question. The first thing that comes to my mind is that working with me or seeing an naturopathic doctor is expensive. Yeah, and I disagree wholeheartedly. It's expensive if you want it to be expensive, meaning that you're not following your protocol, you're not doing what you need to be doing. It's expensive if you want it to be expensive. So you don't do the work. When you come to a session, you haven't done the work, then that's on you. But it doesn't have to be expensive. I tell people I started my journey with my naturopathic doctor when I was broke, fresh out of college, living at home with my mom, didn't have the money, but I went to the library and I got workout videos, right? Anybody remember Billy Blank's Tybo?
Yes.
I was doing at-home kickboxing workouts. Whatever my mom had I did frozen vegetables. They weren't organic. We did what we could, but what I stopped doing was drinking pops and sodas, cut out all the sugar and the crap, started eating real food, going for walks. So those are not, I'm not asking you to go to Whole Foods when you come to work with me. I'm asking you to just stop eating crap. You don't have to go
and invest in yourself.
And invest in yourself. You don't have to go to the fanciest gym. The library has amazing DVD. YouTube. There's so many content creators that do free workout challenges. You don't have to be paying for an app. You could so there are ways to do this without feeling like you have to break the bank.
And I feel like again, it's the mindset from the conventional way to approach health to a more holistic. And because it's new, is new to you.
Yeah.
And so it's expensive. But if you really think about it, I tell my clients, when they're about to pay for their service, they're like, whoa, how much was my damage? And I'm like, no, your investment.
Yeah.
Because how do you feel right now?
It's the language. It's how you approach it. Yeah.
Mindset,
And I think you're worth it.
Because you're about to buy that shoe or that Louis Vuitton bag anyway, right? Or for that trip and put it on a credit card. You might as well spend on yourself, how you feel about yourself and your health. Because now, over 35 is all about longevity. It's not fighting age. I want to keep getting older but healthier.
Yeah, not sicker.
Not sicker.
Most people, by the time they retire, they're sick. They're in poor health.
Okay.
So you've worked all your life, and now you get your time off, And you're going from doctor's appointment to this. Yeah, I don't want to sign. I don't want that path. Hard pass. And like I say to people, you're not working with me for the next 10 years. You're investing and working with me for 12 months, maybe 14 months.
And that 12 and 14 months, you get to know yourself.
Yeah.
And you get the clarity, and you get like, I'm in love with myself, because one, you feel in charge of your health, and you understand things better. And as you change your habits, you're also changing your external world. Because now you know how to set boundaries. Now you can catch yourself when you're not doing the right thing. You know, so it's that not a self-development, but the self-inquiry that you develop those skills. So I love that. Dr. D, has been a pleasure.
Oh my gosh, this was the quickest podcast. I feel like we could have talked so much.
We could,
more.
but
I know.
you got
time.
to go.
Yeah, I do.
I would love to be here 2 hours, but that means you need to come back.
Well, yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how can they find you?
Great question. Website, www.myinfinitewellness.net. We are on Instagram, myinfinite_wellness.
Please follow her. She has the best content.
I think we are on TikTok, but who knows what's happening with that app. It was banned. We don't know, but we're on Instagram.
We all on Instagram. We must be on Instagram.
Yeah, we are on the gram. So website or Instagram will be the best way to connect with me.
And you also offer virtual, right?
In-person, virtual phone. Yeah, we're very flexible. Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. D.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure.
Let's do this again.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Thank you.
Love you. All right, ladies, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.